Hello students, we are the group 10, Taxation English. Our topic is province ordinary tax, leisure tax, and local consumption tax. The composition of our group members: Kang Jong-soo, the major is accounting. Park Hyun-min, the major is management information system. Park Dong-hee, the major is Management Information System. 최대한 저희가 재밌고 그리고 이해가 잘 되도록 강의를 준비했거든요. 끝까지 강의 들어주시면 정말 감사하겠습니다. 그러면 시작하도록 하겠습니다. Before we start, I explain the contents. Part 1, Basic Information. Part 2, Leisure Tax. Part 3, Local Consumption Tax. Part 4, Summary and Conclusion. Part 5, Source of Data and Contact Mail. As you can see the left side of slide picture, you can see the bullfighting picture. We are kind of traditional fighting, 청도 소싸움. So we are betting to which cow win the match. So I will explain this kind of things. It belongs to the leisure tax. So let's begin the presentation. Part 1, Basic Information. There are lots of kinds of taxes. So as you can see in here, national tax and internal tax and custom duties, earmarked taxes. But right side of our presentation, you can see the local taxes. We are treat local taxes, province taxes, ordinary taxes. Ordinary taxes have four kinds of taxes: acquisition tax and register and license tax, and leisure tax and local consumption tax. We will explain about leisure tax and local consumption tax. 그러니까 이제 저희가 지방세, 보통세에 해당하는 레저세와 지방소비세를 설명할 거예요. 요거를 조금 참조하셔서 들으시면은 좀 더 이해가 잘 되지 않을까 싶습니다. Part 2, Leisure Tax. Korea Leisure Tax. This tax is a consumption tax that taxes lace, boat lace, and horse lace, and refers to the tax paid by the Korea Lacing Authority or lace business operator businesses that sells a book or a lace ticket withholds from the sale price of the book. In the bottom side of our slide, you can see the lace, cycling lace, and boat lace, and horse lace. So these kind of things are belong to the Korea leisure tax. So in this page about payment due date, taxes that are withheld from the amount of the sale and paid by the 10th of the following month. In the left side of the slide, you can see the betting slip. So I'm the business operator of the betting slip. So 2020 May 15th, I sold this ticket to someone. So taxes must be paid by the 10th of the following month. Then 2020 June 10th is the payment due date. In this page, I explain object of taxation leisure tax. First, economic lace according to the law. Second, horse lacing according to the Korea Lacing Authority law. Third, the law prescribed by presidential decree as an act of selling a winner's voting ticket, a horse riding voting ticket. So Korea Racing Authority mark in the bottom side. Korea Racing Authority is in charge of our leisure tax. Korea Racing Authority was founded on September 29, 1949. The purpose of the establishment is to contribute to the development of livestock and promote the welfare of the people and promote leisure by promoting fair horse racing and foresting the horse industry. It is the only organization that can legally hold horse racing in Korea. In 2011, 41% of Gwacheon's budget was paid in local taxes. As of 2019, sales were 7 trillion won and net profit was 140 billion won. You can see the Korea Racing Authority's building on the right side of our slide. In this page, I explain leisure tax base and leisure tax rates. Leisure tax base, a total amount obtained by selling tickets for horse race, bicycle race, motorboat race, traditional bullfighting. As you can see in the last pictures. And leisure tax rate is 10% of the amount obtained by selling horse race, bicycle race, motorboat race, traditional bullfighting tickets. Here is the example, the bottom side of the slide. For example, if Korea Racing Authority earned 10,000 won by selling horse race ticket, then I should pay 1,000 won for leisure tax.
첫 소식입니다. 부산지방공사 스포원의 경륜 사업을 통해 해마다 부산시에 들어오고 있는 레저세는 200억 원 가량에 달한다고 합니다. 이 세입을 사회적 약자 또는 복지 항목으로 쓰기 위한 개정안이 발의를 앞두고 있습니다. 보도에 공희철 기자입니다.
부산시의회 박민성 의원이 부산지방공사 스포원 경륜 사업 수익금에 숨기는 복원이라는 목적으로 세액 개정을 준비 중입니다. 부산시 한 해 레저세 1,000억 원 가량 중 스포원이 차지하고 있는 세액은 약 210억 원 가량입니다. 부산시의 일반 회계로 단순 편입되고 있는 이 세액에 대해 복지세로 사용 용도를 분명히 하겠다는 게 요지입니다.
스포원에서 생기는 수익금이 지금까지는 그 시 일반 회계로 들어가서 이제 어디 쓰이는지 알 수가 없는 그런 구조인데, 이번 개정을 통해서 그 기본적으로 사회적 약자에게 쓰이게 되어 있는 형태인 거고요. 그리고 이제 도박으로 인한 중독 그 분들에 대한 심리 치료나 이제 일반적 치료에 쓰이는 걸 기본으로 하고, 그리고 이제 금융복지, 그러니까 신용불량자 분들의 신용 회복에 도움이 될 수 있도록 하는 구조라든지 소송 비용에 쓰이게 되는 걸 우선으로 해서 전반적으로 우리 사회 약자를 위한 일종의 이제 복지세처럼 이제 쓰이도록.
아직 세액의 몇 %를 복지세로 편성할지는 추가적인 논의가 필요하겠지만, 부산시의 체육진흥기금에 사회적 약자 개정이 신설될 예정입니다.
자체 저희들은 뭐 중독 예방이라든지 자체 사업으로 사회공헌 활동하는 부분은 있습니다. 중요하죠. 저희들은 정말로 아픈 사람들, 필요한 사람들 좀 도와주자는 그런 취지인 것 같고 스포 입장도 만약에 그렇게 된다 하면 저희도 나쁠 건 없죠.
세부적으로 경륜 사업의 수익금 사용 방식의 변경에 따라 합법적인 도박 사업인 경륜 등의 사업에 도박 예방과 심리 지원, 금융 복지 등의 지원책이 뒤따를 전망입니다.
일종의 이제 합법적 도박에 의한 이제 이익이 수익이라는 개념을 탈피해서 그러니까 이제 우리 사회의 약자 그리고 또 이제 심리 치료 각종 이제 여러 가지 형태로 쓰일 수 있도록 되는 구조라서 부산시 입장에서는 그러니까 새로운 복지세를 확보하는 개념 그리고 이제 그래서 이제 시민들의 복지에 좀 더 집중할 수 있는 이제 그런 구조가 될 수 있다고 봅니다.
해마다 경륜 사업의 수익금이 줄어들고 있는 스포원의 현실과 스포원 내 체육공원 관리에 추가로 시 예산이 투입되고 있는 상황 속 수익금 일부의 변화까지 예고된 스포원 또한 존립을 위한 변화가 필요한 시점입니다. 경륜 사업의 수익금 일부를 복지세로 전환해 사회적 약결을 지원하기 위한 개정안은 오는 10월 임시회에서 발의될 예정입니다. HC 뉴스 공희철입니다.
From this page, I explain about the previous news information. So, the leisure tax coming into Busan through the SPO 1 Busan Regional Construction is estimated at 20 billion won. You can see the table in the middle of our slide. So 2016, 17, 18, there are leisure tax amounts and the spawn leisure ones amounts also. So more than 20 billion won they are paid for the Busan region. So the amendment to use this revenue as a social underdog or welfare item is about to take effect. Bang Min-sung, a member of the Busan Metropolitan Council, is preparing to revise the tax amount for the purpose of net function health of the proceeds from the SPO1 experience project of the Busan Metropolitan Government. Until now, the proceeds from SPO1 have gone into city's general account and it has not been known where they are used, but through this revision, they are basically used for the socially disadvantaged. It is basically used for psychotherapy and general treatment for addiction from gambling, and is used for financial welfare or litigation cost to help credit delinquents recover their credit, and is generally used as a kind of welfare tax for the weak in our society. SPO1 official of Busan Regional Corporation. There is a part of self-contributing to society through the prevention of addiction and its own business. It's minimal, I think. We are really trying to help the sick and the needy. It wouldn't be bad for us to do that. So addiction and gambling also kind of leisure tax contain. So it's negative part of the leisure. So they trying to help the addiction people or having some trouble about their credit problems. So I think it's good news for the leisure tax we are chosen. Bang Min-sung, Busan City Council member. It is a structure that can be used as a form of services for the weak in our society and psychological treatment by breaking away from the concept of profit return by a kind of legal gambling. So from the perspective of Busan, it can be a structure that can secure new welfare taxes and focus more on the welfare of citizens. So he said those kind of things. We think it is really good policy for the Busan and region citizens. From this page, I introduce leisure tax case and the trend. Here is the another article of Korea. So I explain from now. The decline in sales of Gyeongju gambling industries, which used to be a local tax benefit, is becoming a reality. Eventually, both Changwon and Busan stopped at the end of 2019, and only the race events held in Gwangmyeong, Gyeonggi Province were broadcast on video. A gambling industry refers to an industry that uses human gambling spirit to pursue profits or produce related physical goods or services. According to an integrated supervision committee of the gambling industry, on the 11th, horse racing accounts for the highest percentage of all gambling industries in 2018 at 33.7% based on total sales, according to an analysis of the annual business trend over the past 5 years. Casino businesses, lotteries, and sports promotion tickets have seen a significant increases in sales, while the racing industry, such as horse racing has seen its sales decline. In the first 3 quarters of 2019, horse racing sales fell 2.5% on year to 5,500 trillion won. In particular, local sales decline is greater than those in the Seoul metropolitan area. According to the Busan metropolitan government, leisure taxes accounted for 2.2%, 93.7 billion won of 2019's total local taxes of 4.16 trillion won based on the target amount. Leisure taxes collected by the city government over the past 5 years from the 2015 to 2019 have been decreasing every year. Unlike the 2008 financial crisis, when money was not circulating due to the credit crisis, direct support is important because it is a real economic crisis where consumption is not currently taking place, he said. The central government needs to focus on supplying liquidity, preventing corporate bankruptcy, and maintaining employment, and local governments need to focus on creating demand for local communities by expanding direct support for self-employed people and vulnerable people. So leisure taxes, which stood at 18.7 billion won in 2015, 16.8 billion won in 2016, 18.1 billion won in 2017, and 30.9 billion won in 2018 fell to 93.7 billion won in 2019, marking the first less than 100 billion won. Here is the graph for the audience. So the flow is quite stable in 2015 to 2017, but the problem is the 2019. So drastically from the 2018 and 2019, there have huge decreasing of the tax revenue. It's a kind of crisis. From this page, I explain about the influence of the coronaviruses on the horse industry. The horse industry has faced a real crisis due to the surprise attack by Corona-19. Masahe is on the verge of managing the deficit. It will be the first deficit except when horsing racing was held in instability, such as a Korean War. Already 800 billion won in sales flew into the air due to the months-long closure in March. The problem lies in the fact that the company's deficit is not to end up as a horse society. This is because horse riding industries such as horse riding and horse riding industries have a significant impact on the national economy. In the bottom side of our slide, you can see the economic losses of our horse industry. The important point in the right side of our picture. So almost more than 800 billion won in sales are just gone, and 128 billion won is damaged by the coronavirus. More than 1,110 horse racing officers are the main source of income. If horse racing is carried out normally, on average of 20 billion won in horse racing, prize money will be generated per month, and the horse racing prize will not be able to be received due to the suspension of horse racing. So we should worry about income. About 5,000 workers working in the light miles are also on holiday receiving vacation pay. Light mile security and environmental beautification workers are also working shifts thanks to reduced working. Racing received a salary of 30% less than the month it was operating normally. So they are cut their wage of the workers. So it's kind of severe situation. It is also an emergency light for securing 1 trillion won in tax revenue due to falling horse racing sales. Efforts to revive the horse industry with the Horse Society Emergency Management System. 2 months after the corona outbreak, the Racing Authority further extended the suspension period from March 26 to April 9. As a result, about 1.1 trillion won in sales is expected to fall. Unprecedented deficit management is coming to reality. Related industries are expecting to face more difficulties. The horse industry is like an ecosystem, so if one part is stalled, the other part will be in recession. It is time for serious discussion on how the endangered horse industry will overcome Corona Blue and get back on track. Part 3. Local Consumption Tax. From this page, I explain local consumption tax. Overview. Taxation of local consumption tax on value-added tax (VAT) as the basis for taxation in order to lay the foundation for a virtuous cycle of local finance that leads to the revenue of local governments to the effect of expanding tax sources by expanding local financial resources and revitalizing the local economy through fiscal spending by local government. A person reliable for tax payment, a person who is required to value-added tax pursuant to Article 3 of the Value-Added Tax Act. Article 3 of the Value-Added Act taxpayer, any of the following persons which are individuals, corporations, and do not have a corporate license, the divisional foundation or other organizations shall be obliged to pay value-added taxes pursuant to this act. First, businesses operator. Second, person who imports goods. So those kind of two types of people have to pay the value-added taxes and the local consumption tax. Tax base and tax rate. 11 of 100 of the value-added tax amount. The tax base of local consumption tax is calculated by adding additional tax excluding the value-added tax reduction and deduction tax amount under the Value-Added Tax Act and other laws from the value-added tax payment tax under the Value-Added Tax Act. For your understanding, here is the example. So, for example, if I buy this snack, honey butter chip, for 9,900 won, then VAT, value added tax, is 10% of the price. So which is equivalent to 900 won. So 900 won is the VAT amount. In the 900, you can check the local consumption tax also. So there are composition of the VAT and local tax is 80% of the amounts are corresponds to the national tax. So 89% is going to the central nation of the tax office. So after that, only 11%, 991, is equivalent to local income tax. So 1991 is gonna be to the local or region. So they will use the money for their country. So how to collect? It is the report payment. The operator shall report the value-added tax paid or the refund tax amount during each taxation period to the head of the component tax office within 25 days after the end of the taxation period. Taxpayer have to pay. So you can see the table of the bottom side of our slide. Deadline for reporting VAT is also local consumption tax law also apply. So they are follow the VAT reporting system also. So here are business classification. So classification of the period is in the middle. The legal deadlines are the right side. So if the general taxpayers have the full period of the VAT, so the first phase of the term is the April 1st to April 25th. So confirmation of the first term is the July 1st to July 25th. A second term schedule is October 1st to October 25th. And the last confirmation of the second term is gonna be next year, February 1st to February 2025. So, so is that clear to the understanding? So how to collect about the religion? I will give the example for understanding. If you live in Dalseogu, the local consumption tax shall be paid by the component tax office, the Namdaegu tax office. So left side of the map is the Dalseogu territory of our Daegu map. So if you live in this area, then you can go to Namdaegu tax office. So they will pay or they treat the local consumption tax. So if you have questions or trouble, you can ask to the Namdaegu tax office also. You will pay the local consumption tax to the Namdaegu station. If VAT has been paid, local consumption tax is also considered to have been paid. So if you pay the VAT tax amount, that means you are the paid local consumption tax also. So VAT contained the local consumption tax. the tax chief who collected the local consumption tax, customs chief paid to the payment manager by the 20 days of the next month. So you saw the left side of our picture. You can see the Namdaegu tax office, and the middle of the picture is the Daegu local tax office. So from the Namdaegu tax office, they are collect and they get the local consumption tax and value-added taxes from the business operator or individuals or something else. So they are collecting the local consumption taxes and the value-added tax. So they are give to the local tax office. So then local tax office have the other tax offices in the Daegu. There are many kinds of Daegu tax offices. So they are combine the Daegu local tax offices. So Daegu local tax office collect the Daegu amount, then it goes to the National Tax Service. It calls Korean 국세청. So they are deal with every kinds of the regions and center of the taxes in here. So every kinds of taxes go to the National Tax Service. From this page, we will deal with the local consumption tax trends. So expansion of local finance, it is the first. So transfer of local tax from national tax. Under the fiscal decentralization drive, some of value-added tax and the national tax will be transferred to local consumption tax, raising the local consumption tax rate by a total of 10% of from 11% to 21%. It's gonna be so 21% in 2020. So as a result, about 8.5 trillion won in annual funds will be transferred from the central to provincial areas without increasing tax burden on the people, resulting in a breakthrough expansion of local finance. Second, improve autonomy of local finance. In addition, about 3.6 trillion won worth of state subsidies will be converted into general projects for local governments. The purpose of the plan is to strengthen the autonomy of local financial management by recognizing the structure of resolving local affairs with local financial resources. So in the last page we already mentioned, so 8.5 trillion won will be collect to the region local consumption tax. So it's gonna be help their regions such as Daegu, Busan, Gwangju, and so on. And the bottom side is the information and graphs about the local consumption tax trend gonna be the higher than previous years. So It is the information. Third, contributing to balanced regional development. A fiscal balance has also been set up to ensure that the effects of fiscal decentralization are evenly reflected in local governments. The increased local consumption tax is a city. It will be distributed by applying regional weights to the number of consumers in the province, and 35% of the tax revenues of local governments in the Seoul metropolitan area will be donated to the regional win-win development fund. So they will contribute to the region development. Fourth, participation and consultation between the state and local government. So in this paragraphs, so fiscal decentralization is a result of the state and local governments concerted effort to achieve through thorough and concessions. It is helped that local government will be able to use their expanded resource effectively with autonomy and creativity, thereby boosting local economic vitality and providing greater benefits to residents. Part 4. Summary and conclusion. Korea Leisure Tax. This tax paid by the Korea Racing Authority or race businesses, operator businesses that sells a book of all race tickets, withholds from the sale price of the book. Korea Leisure Tax imposed consumption tax that taxes race, boat race, and horse race. Taxes must be paid by the 10th of the following month. Tax base a total amount obtained by selling tickets for horse race, bicycle race, motorboat race, traditional bullfighting also. Tax rate is 10% of the amount obtained by selling horse race, bicycle racing, motorboat race, traditional bullfighting tickets. Due to recent decline in related businesses and the COVID-19 crisis, it is becoming difficult to secure tax revenue. Summary of the local consumption tax. Taxation of local consumption tax on value-added taxes as the basis for taxation in order to lay the foundation for a virtuous cycle of local finance. People reliable for tax payment are value-added tax. Any of the following persons which are individuals, corporation, business operator, person who import goods. Tax base and tax rate is the 11 of the 100 of the value-added tax amounts. Tax payment shall be deemed to have been paid when VAT is paid to the component tax office. Payment terms are from April 1st to April 25, July 1st to July 25, October 1st to October 25, and January 1st to January 25 of the following year. Conclusion. Leisure taxes should be made into leisure that many people can enjoy by promoting them to local residents. If direct viewing is difficult due to the COVID-19 situation, it will be helpful if internet viewing and internet betting are activated. There are negative aspects of gambling and addiction. so care should be taken. In the Busan Regional Construction SPO 1, leisure taxes will be used for the socially vulnerable and needed. Local consumption taxes are added to value-added taxes and are taxes to establish local finances. Local consumption taxes will increase the ratio of value-added taxes revenues to 21% to secure tax revenue. It is expected to contribute to balanced regional development. However, the local consumption tax is also difficult to secure tax revenue due to the COVID-19 crisis. The priority is to help local residents to revitalize the economy. After the end of the corona crisis, consider how to increase revenues and develop the regions. Part 5. Source of data and contact mail. Source of data, we used this kind of informations and website or the newspapers or the videos. So we are using this kind of information. From this page, we will give the Korean translations for your understanding. If you have trouble or hard to understanding our newspaper, please have the translation section in here. So it is part 2. It is from the page 14 to 17. So you can see the pages on the right bottom side of our presentation. This page is translation of the 18 to 20 newspapers and articles also. It is also about the part 2, pages 18 to 20. If you have any questions or feedback, just contact to my email address. Email address in here. 저희가 이 영어 강의를 최대한 이제 설명을 드렸는데 부족한 부분들도 좀 많을 거예요. 그리고 이해가 안 가는 부분들도 있을 거고, 그리고 조금 이상하다 하는 부분들도 있을 수 있어요. 그러니까 만약에 좀 더 이렇게 피드백이 필요하다 하시면은 이쪽 이메일 주소로 연락을 주시면은 최대한 성심성의껏 그리고 빨리 이렇게 응답을 드리도록 하겠습니다. modus3333 골뱅이 네이버 닷으로 연락을 주시면 되거든요. 끝까지 시청해 주셔서 되게 감사하다는 말씀 전하고 싶습니다. Thank you for watching our presentation. I am the presentation 강종수. Our presentation is finished. 감사합니다.